What is going on, guys? Corrosive Bullet here, and the new information for LF Rose and TrunksMai Assist has dropped. There's a lot that we're going to have to cover here, guys, so let's just jump right into it. Rose is going to be purple, Trunks and Mai are going to be red. That was to kind of be expected. That was kind of the general conjecture from the community, and honestly, I'm perfectly okay with it. I would have liked it if they were flipped, but they obviously both needed their own respective colors as well, so it is what it is. Rose, though, he's a Saiyan's future God Key, powerful opponent as well. And let's start off at 3, just to kind of see what his stats look like at 3. And they're not too bad at 3 stars. Obviously, with an LF unit, like they don't really shine until later on. When you get them up to like 6 stars. At 6 stars, they're a little bit more manageable. And then obviously, if you max them out completely, he's got pretty good stats, all in all. All things considered, you know? Almost 160 defenses, 252 strike, 245 blast, relatively balanced between the 2 different attack types, and over 2.5 mil health. At 14 stars, not bad. But more than likely, the majority of us are going to get him at 2, maybe 3 stars. Which at 3 stars, you know, 204 strike attack isn't too bad. Defenses are a little lacking, but that's to kind of be expected. So you kind of want to try and aim for 6 stars for these guys, but again, do not go chasing LF units. Let's look at his main ability. Main ability: this scythe will carve the reminder into your mortal flesh. He draws Ultra Divine Dance, restores own health by 30% and ki by 50, gains attribute upgrade minus 100% to sustain damage cut effects for 30 timer counts, and he cancels his own attribute downgrades abnormal conditions. After 25 timer counts, that's a decent chunk. So this is someone to activate the main ability, you definitely do not want to have him as your first unit out. But here's where he kind of gets a little interesting. So, unique ability, Wrathful Castigation. Applies the following effects to self when battle starts. 60% to damage inflicted and reduces damage received by 35% right off the bat. Can't be canceled. Reduces enemy ki by 10 when this character enters the battlefield. Additional 10% to damage inflicted per enemy battle member. Cannot be canceled. And it resets after he switches. And then inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade plus 10 to all arts costs for 3 timer counts when an enemy attack is over. This is a lot to digest. So he gets upwards to 90% damage inflicted that can't be canceled whatsoever. He also gets a permanent damage reduction. And then on top of that, he's also reducing enemy ki on switch in. Plus, when he gets attacked, he gets plus 10 to all arts cost. Take into account too, he also has a cover change, so all of this hits when his cover change activates as well. So that's probably your best moment to actually utilize this guy and bring him onto the field is when you need to cover change. You get those buffs in early, and then you more than likely want to keep him involved in the fight. So yeah, this is pretty nuts for just the first ability. Purging Blades nullifies enemies, restore health when it reaches 0 effects when this character attacks. This can't be canceled either. Draws a Strike Arts card next every time when faced with an enemy. And then, so he's getting an extra strike card whenever your enemy switches in and out. 15% chance to reduce enemies' Dragon Balls by 1 upon landing a Strike Arts hit. I don't think this is brand new. I don't think this has been incorporated yet. I mean, units have like feint and stuff at 15%. So normally these don't hit very often, but this is still pretty, detrimental to your opponent if this actually goes in. On top of all the other debuffs he's gaining, on top of his own personal buffs, like he's LF Rose. I don't know. I think probably Blue LF Broly is probably a little bit better than this guy, but this guy is still pretty good, like, all things considered. And then his cover change on Strike Arts is comboable. with his special move. Strike introduces Extreme Bleed, which is a 100% chance to land. So this is the first Extreme Bleed unit that we have as well. And it's hard to say exactly how hard this is going to hit compared to Heavy Bleed, but we'll just have to see, I guess, when we test it a little bit. Blast does nothing. Divine Black Kamehameha is teachable. Deals massive explode damage. Nullifies own unfavorable element factors for 3 timer counts upon activation. So this is only beneficial when you land it. If you miss it, it really doesn't help all that much. A portion of the damage inflicted will also be dealt to enemy members on standby on a hit. So another one of these AoEs, but this is on a special move this time, as opposed to a ultimate, which we've been seeing a lot of lately. And then special skill is Divine Cannon. Applies the following effects to self upon activation. This is a lot, guys. Draw a special art move arts card next. Only works once. Restores ki by 50. Plus 20 to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. Gain attribute upgrade plus 30 to the duration of bleed, heavy bleed, and extreme bleed effects this character inflicts on enemies. And then also cancels enemy buff effects on hit. And it's comboable with everything. Yeah, this Goku's pretty nuts, guys. And then Ultra Divine Dance deals massive explode damage, applies the following effects to self according to the number of enemy battle members upon activation. And then, so it's basically 30, 60, 90. Basically 30, 60, 90 for each member. And then his Strike Arts. His Strike Arts is also giving a plus 20% to strike damage inflicted for 2 timer counts. So that's nothing too crazy, but a decent chunk. And then obviously at 2 stars, he only or at Zenkai level or star level 3, he only gets future and a powerful opponent, which is just strike increases. At 6 stars, he gains the extra 15% to God Key and powerful opponent units. So basically kind of buffing himself. So no, this guy's good. He's pretty good. I would say he's definitely worth summoning on just because of his kit. I don't know if he's definitely not the best LF unit, as we can clearly see here. He's definitely being outshone by Ultra Instinct Goku stat-wise, at the very least. So he's really good, just not like up there with like Broly or maybe Kid Buu in that respective. Now Trunks and Mai. Trunks and Mai are a little bit different. Vegeta family, girls, hybrid Saiyan, future. All of which can benefit from a new red unit. Let's go 6 stars with him, 5,000. So at 6 stars, nothing too crazy. Strike defense is all right at 6 stars. 207, 206 for attack. And just a little bit over 2 million for that. At max stars, he gets really good defenses and pretty good attack stats. A little bit of subpar health, but that's kind of to be expected. So all in all, stat-wise, he's actually not too bad. Looking at his kit though, main ability. First, you'll have to deal with me. Draws ultimate arts card, strike for the future next. Restores own key by 20%. And then 30% to ultimate damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. And that's also 25 timer counts elapsed. Forging the future together, 20% to damage inflicted against regen and androids that can't be canceled. When he enters the battlefield, he draws a special arts card only once. And then enters or increases arts card draw speed by 1 for 15 timer counts. It's not a permanent buff, but I mean, being able to switch in and switch out and he gains that extra card speed, at least for the beginning of his use, is actually not too bad. Plus 10% to damage inflicted by allied future or Vegeta family for 10 timer counts every time this character uses a strike or blast cards card, and then restores ally key by 30 when this character is switched to standby. So once again, kind of has that Vados effect where upon switching back in, you gain key back. This is also kind of nice that he's kind of a buffer for these teams, He's not necessarily great by himself, just off this first part here, but the fact that he can essentially get upwards of 50 to maybe 60 damage inflicted within 5 timer counts is actually pretty good. It's not too bad. And then obviously, being able to do damage to regen and androids, and him being red, this guy might actually be pretty good up against Zenkai 18, which is not bad. Regen, who's yellow on regen? Cell, LF Piccolo. So, yeah, I mean, that first part's not too bad. Deepening Ties applies the following effects to self when battle starts. 50% of damage inflicted, can't be cancelled. Reduces damage received by 25%, can't be cancelled. Same thing as Rose, just not as good. The following effects occur depending on the number of timer counts elapsed. This is what everyone was kind of worried about. So he needs to survive up to 50 timer counts. At 20, he gets 20% of damage inflicted. At 35, he gets -5 to his own arts cards. And then 50 counts elapsed plus 20 to damage inflicted by allies. So the way I kind of see you want to use this Trunks is you want him to be your kind of like pseudo switch-in type unit. Get in there, do a little bit of damage, buff up the rest of your teammates, and then only after 50 timer counts do you really let this guy roll and ramp up to really start like knocking in the damage. 50 timer counts is a long time, so like I said, I don't think he's meant to be used early game whatsoever. Definitely is more mid to late, and yeah. But I mean, all in all, his kit's not too bad. He's actually a lot better than I expected him to be. So I definitely like this kit a lot. He has a 30% chance to inflict heavy bleed with his strikes. Shining Divider deals major explode damage plus 25% of damage inflicted by allies for 15 timer counts. Again, buffing your teammates. He is meant to be a support. Is he a support? No, he's a melee type. Interesting. He's a melee type, but he's giving all these support buffs. Together as one. Restores own health by 15% and ki by 50. That's great. That's pretty good. 20% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. And then 15% to special move and ultimate damage inflicted, which can't be canceled and activates twice. That's pretty good. It's a solid standard green card for a non-LF unit. I will take that. And then his ultimate skill deals massive impact damage. Gain attribute upgrade minus 100% to enemies' sustained damage cut effects for 3 timer counts upon activation. Applies the following effects to self on hit. He shortens tag future and Vegeta family substitution count by 5. That's really good. And it restores vanishing gauge by 100%. Very, very solid ultimate skill. Sucks that this is locked behind ultimate skill. This I understand being locked behind ultimate skill, but this being locked behind it is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. And then he buffs future, Vegeta family at 3 stars, 6 stars it's still future and Vegeta family, and then he's 35% at max. So not bad. He's not bad at all. Both these units are very solid units. Definitely worth summoning on, I think, in my opinion, especially if you run the future tag in any particular way. In terms of summons, though, we will have an upcoming Legend Saiyans Volume 5 summonable banner in a couple days. We'll go over that later. But let me just look here real quick, because this didn't really update when I set all this up. No, okay. Well, the Ruined Future banner is obviously a step up. Broly's on the banner. Vegeta Blue's on the banner. He's been on, like, every banner. 500, 4,000 for the standard, and then a free one at the end. You gain 1, 2, you only gain 4. I hate this particular aspect of these tickets. You only get 4 as opposed to the 5 that you used to get. So I mean, it is what it is, but so yeah, about 2.5 rotations is what you kind of need to do to be able to get a full thing on the tickets. Again, we got a little bit of surprise when it comes to the summonable units on this. Broly's in this, Vegeto's in this, Super Saiyan God, Beerus. The new units, but only the new units are the featured units with the LFs. There are no other featured units. Like, if you scroll down this list, like, there's really good units on this banner, don't get me wrong. You got all of the rival universe guys, you got the hybrid Saiyans, more hybrid Saiyans, movies, you got this Goku Black, you got these movies characters, this Cell, you got all the second anniversary units. Only thing is that there are a lot of filler. There's a lot of filler in here. So the odds of you pulling these guys is actually pretty high, for the sheer fact that there are just so many of them. But I mean, it's nice that these guys are, you know, by themselves and have the higher rates. So I mean, you have a better chance to pull these still than you did in past step ups. That being said, what EXs are available? This Bojack, okay. The universe, was that Universe 9? No, Universe 2. These were Universe 2. Super Warriors. Okay, nothing crazy with the EXs. But yeah, no, this banner's okay. The cool thing though is that they did change, and I can't really show you guys, so I apologize. But the tickets themselves though have a basically it's still the same format as it was before. It's a, you know, 10 unit guaranteed sparking like summon. However, the units in those summons are the same as they are here. So maybe that's an improvement. It's definitely an improvement. Does it fully fix the problem? I don't think so. But it's definitely a step in the right direction. So, you know, on a guaranteed sparking multi summon, all these units being 0.15% and these units staying the same, like, it's like, that's good. Definitely an improvement. Like I said, Legend Saiyan is coming back. That's coming on at 2 a.m. tonight. It looks like. You'll have a daily that you can summon on. And you got, you know, LF Vegeta, you got LF Namek Goku, and this Super Saiyan Vegeta. Honestly, this isn't really worth it. I mean, the units on here are good, but just it just doesn't, there's no point, really. It's all stuff that we've all kind of summoned before, so unless you're looking for any of these units in particular, like, don't summon on this banner. It's not worth it compared to the step up. Story events. So we got a brand new, obviously we'll go into the Ginyu Force revamp with the Zenkai Krillin, which we went over in another video. Zamasu is going to be the new co-op boss. Both the Universe 6 and the future Gohan events are coming back. And then look at this, another Clash Rate, guys. You know what that means? That means more Chrono Crystals. So definitely excited for that. Unfortunately, I cannot click on this banner. This banner will not load. Unfortunately, I can't really do that. But you know the gist. You know the spiel. And then, last but not least, Dreaded Ginyu Force. Got 4 standard chapters. You got 3 EX stages. Then you have the Awakening, the bonus, and the challenge. Obviously, the Awakening battle will give you this is your daily. Your bonus battle, which obviously will give you but this is your farmable stage. And then the challenge battle, which will give you 50 Chrono Crystals and whatnot. Using the Krillin, I believe. Yeah, you got to use the Krillin. So, is what it is. That is going live tonight as well. So be sure to get that in and grind out that Krillin. And especially grind out that Awakened equipment. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I wanted to keep this one a little bit short. That's why I did the Krillin video earlier in the week. So definitely let me know down in the comments below if you guys are going to be summoning for these guys or not. Who are you more excited for, Rose or TrunksMai? Or hey, maybe you're more excited about Zenkai Krillin. So let me know in the comments, guys. Like and subscribe for more Legends content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.